Terry, you gotta love this guy. Thank you very much. Senator Deeds, Governor Deeds. Sounds pretty good, huh? Folks, I want to be brief and to the point. I am here for about 3 reasons. Number one, I tried to help Terry McAuliffe beat Creigh Deeds, and we failed. And I respect people who win and win fair and square. And B, I'm a lifetime Democrat, and I like this guy. I like Creigh Deeds. I like the way he handled himself in the primary. I like the way he's handling himself in the general election. I believe he'd be the best choice for the Commonwealth of Virginia. The second reason I'm here is all the things Terry said. When I was president, I worked very hard on the economy. And I know that no matter what happens at the national level, it really still matters who the governor is, what happens in the legislatures, what the executive branch does. And that brings me to the third reason I'm here. I was a governor for 12 years before I was president. And I went through a horrible economic recession in the middle of the country all during the 1980s, which I worked on. But when I ran for president in 92, we ranked first in the country in job growth. So I know how much difference a governor can make. And I have literally, seriously just sat up in New York and I've read everything that these candidates have said. And I've seen all the position papers. And there's not a Republican or a Democratic way to create jobs. You either do it or you don't. You can be part of the solution or you can just be part of the peanut gallery. So Senator Deeds has been attacked falsely for supporting a cap and trade bill he doesn't support, because he does support creating green jobs to reduce the problem of global warming while preserving and strengthening the Virginia economy. He has been attacked on the transportation issue because he thinks it's not good for your economy for all of you to sit there and breathe each other's auto emission exhaust 4 or 5 hours a day, and for Virginia to be the most clogged place on the planet. My daughter's generation has a slogan that the Nile is not just a river in Egypt. It apparently is the political platform of the Virginia Republican Party. But I have reviewed this. There's no question that Creigh Deeds has the best jobs plan, has the best energy plan, has the best education plan. This is not a close question. Has the best record in health care, supporting the children's health insurance program. And let me just give you one last thing, and I want to bring him on with this. We were talking on the way in here. One of the things I tried hard to do when I was president is to make college more affordable. Because even back in the 80s, leading up to my coming in, the cost of college kept going up more and more and more than the rate of inflation. When I left office, we passed the biggest increase in aid to education since the GI Bill, and 10 million more young people were getting college aid than when I took office. That's the good news. The bad news is it was all gone in 5 years because of exploding costs. So you need somebody who will think about this. Every year from the end of World War II till I left office, the United States was first in the world in percentage of our young adults with college degrees. We've fallen to about 10th. It's devastating. And, Virginia's always led the way in access to college and in quality of higher education, beginning with your community colleges, going all the way through your PhDs. as nearly as I can tell, he's the only candidate you can still vote for who's actually got a plan to do something about it. Let me tell you what I learned in the primary. Two things. Number one, never underestimate this man. But the second thing I learned is this, and I want to say this about all these polls. These polls are both accurate and they're not. It's like people ask me all the time, is Ben Bernanke right? Is the recession over? And I say that the accurate answer is yes, no, and maybe. And what I mean is, if you're a professor of economics at George Mason, the answer is yes, because it's 2 consecutive quarters of positive growth. If you're a real person, the answer is no, right? Nowhere near over. And the maybe answer is, maybe we get out of it and fall back in. So you got to have good leadership. So are the polls right? The answer is yes, no, and maybe. Yes, the polls are an accurate measurement of the voter groups that they talk to in proportion to each other. So if on election day that profile shows up, you have to change minds. The no answer is, that's not close to a profile of the people either who voted in the primary, which was an open primary, or in the general election in 2008. And the maybe is the thing that matters. The maybe is you. The maybe is what you do in the next 2 weeks, whether you're prepared to step into the breach. But I'm telling you, I did this job for 12 years. And then I was president, and I watched the disparate economic progress of American states after I took office, and I knew what was attributable to who the governor was. I know what I am talking about. I did this job for 12 years, then I was president for 8. I know what I am talking about. This is a big election for you. So what you have to do, those of you who are already for Creigh Deeds, is to make sure that the electorate that shows up at the polls understands what the people in Northern Virginia, in the southern part of the state, in the Tidewater, the Piedmont, every region of this state, understand what they have riding on this election. And it's jobs, and it's energy, and it's education, and it's health care, and it's having sensible budgets, and it's not being in denial. Don't you let this election be determined by the denial strategy of people who only trigger the fear factor because the others are too busy to go vote. This man